The only known source of astatic coaxium is a fissure vent beneath the spice mines on Kessel.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of.
We're making the Kessel Run.
And what if I don't elect to go to Kessel?
Action!
This is the ship that made the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs. That is a nonsensical statement. A parsec is a unit of distance, not a unit of speed. So what did he mean when he said that?
We simply don't have enough time to get to Savarine before the canisters explode.
Just have to find a faster route.
There isn't one. You can't make the Kessel Run in less than 20 parsecs.
Can't make the Kessel Run in less than 20 parsecs.
Watch me.
How?
You take a little shortcut through there.
There's bad ways to get in and out of Kessel, and there's a good way. And the good way takes a long time, maybe 19, 20 parsecs. And a really short way is way more dangerous, and no one would ever go that way. And that's our Kessel Run on the way out.
Usually in situations like this, I like to turn in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Romeo 63 Papa, take 1.
What we set out to do was make it as immersive and realistic as possible.
Spark!
The special effects department actually built this rig so it could spin and turn and rattle, and then Industrial Light and Magic created the media that would go around this wraparound screen, and it was completely photorealistic, and it was high enough quality that the camera could photograph it directly. And on set, we had multiple projectors that were all lined up, so the shots you see on the set is actually what you see in the film. We shook the cockpit a little bit. It was basically like going on a very custom ride at Disneyland.
Can't plot a direct course to Kessel. You have to thread through the Psychotic cluster and then pass through the Maelstrom. You might want to buckle up, Ed.
Going into hyperspace was probably the coolest moment. You know you're an adult, you know it's not real, but we pressed this lever, and then the stars came, and we both just went, ah! For a second, I really believed I was going into hyperspace.
It enveloped the Falcon cockpit. It was giving the actors a real environment to look at and kind of gave the whole thing an immediacy that I really felt like was right.
Can't take credit for that. I never saw you do that once.
The Kessel Run is the first moment that Han and Chewie fly the Falcon together. This felt like a really fun opportunity to figure out what that cooperative flying was going to feel like.
On, now!
On it.
Han is a wild, reckless guy, but when he connects with the right machine, he's a daredevil, but he can just make things happen. And Chewbacca, who you don't even know that he's a pilot.
Since when do you know how to fly?
It turns out that he's brilliant, and they're just being tested to their absolute limits to show that they have that kind of unspoken communication as pilot and co-pilot.
Han goes into this really crazy drift.
Drift!
And so we had one of our stunt drivers come in, and we said, okay, forget that this is a giant spaceship. If you were going to put a car into a drift, how would you do it? And he showed us exactly what that move would look like by giving Chewie the pitch and roll controls. He forces the ship up and then flips it over.
Nice move! Pull up and roll.
Ron really likes getting in the meat of the vehicle and really hearing all the parts about it. So switches were overly exaggerated, and turns and any kind of velocity changes in the ship were really accentuated to be able to hear that character come out.
We did a lot of recording for this film, and we stayed at this hotel that had this really old air conditioning unit, and it had just the greatest sounding switches. This had this great meaty quality, ching, 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 you know. It's a very rhythmic, almost a musical sort of sequence anyway, so we played them almost more like percussion than literal switches.
One of the things I love about the Kessel Run is the parallel that it has with so many seafaring adventures.
Jules Verne was the term the Kasdans often used as it related to the Kessel Run and the obstacles that they were facing. We wanted mystery, we wanted surprises.
It's right out of one of those stories, a giant clipper ship going into a storm and avoiding icebergs.
Ron Howard, it's like, I love the Kessel Run, but it feels like it might be too familiar. Can we add a monster?
Right as they emerge from the hurricane, suddenly there's a sea monster.
Eyeball!
It's a pretty exciting sequence and a lot of fun for the animators. It's a lot of tentacles, which also means it's a lot of work for the animators. We did look at a lot of squid reference and a lot of jellyfish reference, actually, on how they move. And the mouth itself is actually a snapping turtle.
The space monster was a lot of walrus recordings, and this walrus became the sort of basis of it because it just had this guttural, deep power that we wanted. We have some recordings of possums that were quite useful in a couple shots of just giving it kind of a screechy quality as well. Ron had come to me with this idea of using howler monkeys, and that became a key element, at least of a couple of the really big, most painful sort of vocals of the creature in the movie.
I know, we're getting dragged in a circle.
Part of the fun of designing the Lando Millennium Falcon was actually tearing it apart. This is Lando's ship, this is Han's ship. What is the ship in between? We had to figure out at every stage, what is the damage? What does a TIE fighter hit damage? What does a Carbonberg scraping across the hull damage look like?
Oops, that's on me.
And then what does a tentacle slapping on the top look like?
I don't know what this is. That's a living thing.
So you can see all these cleaner pieces start to eventually get ripped off, and we wind up with this mess that Lando is not happy about.
This is why never let anyone fly your ship.
The ship's coming apart. Donald, you could even kind of stand up and look because you hear the ship tearing apart.
Coaxium canisters are about to explode, so that was really fun, trying to figure out what's the sound of these just decaying metal canisters. And I saw this video on YouTube years ago of somebody dropping a gummy bear into potassium chlorate, and it causes the gummy bear to sort of spontaneously combust. And so we ordered some potassium chloride, and we dropped gummy bears and gummy worms into these things, and they scream and spit, and just this really terrifying sizzle of this thing, like just about to explode at any moment.
Now! Now!
All right. And cut. Okay, you guys are heroic. Great. What a day. You guys are awesome. Awesome. Thank you.